Hello, hello. Happy Sunday to everybody. This one is going to be an interesting one. Do you ever feel like you're always uh like in some areas you do really well, but then in some areas it's always tomorrow? I've been thinking about this a lot for my own life because I've by going into the process of kind of life design, and there's a piece of software called RPM that Tony Robbins uh shared with a lot of the people that are on his team over the last 6 months. And what I'm noticing is there is a different level of urgency when it comes to certain things than others. And it seems like the stuff that, and I don't mean urgency like a frenetic, like I got to do it, but it's more like scheduled and done type of urgency, today versus tomorrow or the next day kind of urgency. And so I've been kind of looking at this in my life, and where am I putting stuff off versus where am I just kind of even casually just doing it. And then I noticed some of my friends that are doing really well in certain areas of their lives. Certain things are automatic for them. They just go. That thing gets done. That activity that moves them toward what they want in that area just happens. And of course, I have plenty of those also, like this video, right? I am going to always do these videos, and it may not be every day forever, but it until my time frame, I'm going to do, for I said 365 days, so I'm going to do 365 days. And then after that, it'll be, different timing for this. But it's that kind of thing where it's happening no matter what. And I would say that urgency you put on it, it's like during that day, something has to happen, a specific thing or a specific activity. That's the difference between, thriving and not, maybe thriving still. Maybe you do great with doing something once every 2 months. I don't know. But for me, I need to have a consistent little chunks of effort for something in order to be getting what I want on a consistent basis. And so that's my thought. And I've noticed, like, people put false deadlines on themselves, and they don't even call them deadlines. They're thinking about all the things that could go wrong, and they're deciding they want it by a certain time. So they're giving themselves leeway in that space. So their deadline is, I would call it, a well thought out time frame for what they need to do. So they just want to get it off their table and keep their table clean. So almost like putting something on your calendar and trying to remove it from your calendar as soon as possible. And we all do this in some areas of our lives, but maybe not all. Or maybe more importantly, not the ones we want to thrive in at that time. And so that's my thought for the day is establishing a group. If you're ever wanting to grow in a certain area, establishing a baseline of activity in that area for every day, and establishing also a baseline of achievement that you are committed to moving forward. And it isn't, and you have an outcome, you have a reason and a meaning behind it, but there's also this hard part of it, which is to get the outcome no matter what, even if it takes 14 hours that day. So that's my thought of today. And I see that with people, and I see the difference between, victory and defeat in that sense. The person who wins, they find it fun. They find it a game to go through and do everything in their power to get the outcome they want. And in the areas that they're not doing well, they don't have that same mentality. They don't have that same attitude. And it's not a game for them. It's stressful. It's this, it's that. So not only do you want to have that outcome based thing where you're like, I'm doing these things now instead of later in order to make sure it gets done and I get what I want, but also there's this make it fun at the same time thing. So that's my Sunday live. Hopefully it's still Sunday for you. It might be some Monday for a lot of you friends in Australia and overseas. But if Sunday or Monday or whatever it is, enjoy the rest of it. And until tomorrow.